Abusia yinchi on so emo wakwaba channel so had that's why a bear media GH. Abusia ye former finance minister Ken Ofori Atta, yes. Ken Ofori Atta. Abusia sisi amene work say ya dia OSP edi some information bi edi about bonting efa papen ho. Yes, OSP edi information edi about. We dey ma meka se wapese ekọ na yitie enkomo. Nimu ye na sabusia ye wi abomode ana ya kire ya adwe had that's why a bear media GH. Subscribe, like, share my for person bet you know.
Start off with what the lawyers have put out there, and I mean, because of your experience, we are told that his visa will expire February 14, 2026. That is the information that we've received, which is out there in the public domain. The lawyers are telling us that he has a pending petition for adjustment of status, which authorizes a person to stay in the US legally past the period of validity of their visa. Under US law, a change of status by this method is common. And so they are saying that they are in contact with the IC in relation to this matter. I mean, because of your familiarity and what you know, what's your understanding of what exactly is taking place with regards to Ken Ofori Atta?
Thank you, Aka. And let me say greetings to Kwame, Ebo, and
Happy New Year. Yes.
I have AB there, right?
Yes.
So I was listening. I was listening attentively to all of them. Greetings to everybody and Happy New Year. In a complex, yes, in a complex institution, oriented country like ours, power and authority have strengths and weaknesses. And that is what we are seeing. So power can create an opportunity for you, and it can also land you into trouble if you don't do the right thing. I will start with what Kwame was saying, that the president should speak. Now, if you're Ofori Atta, let's all put ourselves in Ofori Atta's shoes and see that a former regional chairman of the party had an issue of mining in a forest, reserve forest, and the whole parliament went and sat, down to support him. A former finance minister from 2017 to 2024 had been in trouble for his actions and inactions when he was in office. And nobody seemed to be talking for him. So let's pause for a minute and then analyze this issue. What is happening? That the president had the indemnity clause that you can't take him to court. The president could have come in and said that even though he was my cousin, we know the role that Ofori Atta played for Kufuor, single-handedly campaigning, raising funds for him with his data bank and all those. What is happening that nobody is speaking for the man? Then another question is, what is happening even in ICE offices in Virginia here that he's been put? Why is it that Obaya and the James Owusus, I'm talking about MPP, chairman of NDC, MPP rather, in US, and then the vice chairman, why are they not mobilizing people to go and demonstrate that this is our finance minister, he's not done anything wrong, and what do we do? So there are a lot of questions, more questions than answers. And I think my panelists there have really explained that he's facing just immigration issue and not, about his extradition. So this is an immigration issue. Now, let me explain a couple of things. If it's an immigration issue, as we all know that the lawyers have come out to say that it's a legal team is saying that there's a pending petition for adjustment of his status. I will explain the adjustment of different status and what it means. Then it means that it is not true that his visa expires on the 14th of February, because we are still on the 8th. Today is the 9th of January. So if his visa expires on the 14th of February, that means his visa has not expired yet. Yes. So you cannot arrest him in America. 14th February, we are not there yet. So you cannot arrest him on that. Now that he's been arrested, there are a couple of questions that people have been asking. The first question is, what caused his arrest? And the answer we have now is that he's overstayed his visa. If it is 14th, I've explained already, of February, that means he has not overstayed yet, because we are still on the 9th of January, not the 14th of February. So if he's overstayed his visa, then that is another issue, maybe why he's in the detention. Two is, can Ghana continue to bring him here from the detention that, look, he's facing extradition already, so can you hand him over to us? That is something that other people are asking. The third one is, Why won't he, Ofori Atta, give an excuse to immigration that he is sick, as he's explained in the letter that he sent to the Ghanaians when he was accused for coming in on corruption? The answer is that ICE don't care whether you are sick or not. They have their own doctors. And once they put you into detention, well, they go through their own process, not what you want to be done, but what they want to do. So there's a pending petition, and I will explain that quickly. But that's a common practice in US. Since I came, I've written 2 letters to Ghanaians who are in school. One will have to come home. So I wrote to explain to the UCIS people that, look, the research that he's doing will help America, so they should let him stay. So if somebody is going to school, they can be, you can write a recommendation for them that you are petitioning the immigration people that they should stay longer because they've not finished their research, and their research will help America. The second part is that if somebody is processing your papers for you, and I will explain that one very soon. If somebody wants to sponsor you, that person will need a couple of things to support your stay here. So, for our test case, the only case that we have is that maybe somebody is helping him to adjust his stay. And that takes a process. I will explain the process very soon. So as at now, he's held in detention. And 3 things must happen. He can be released based on the following: 1, a bond, if he's eligible for a bond. 2, a parole of humanitarian reasons. So we can parole him on humanitarian reasons that he's sick. And because of that, we should release him while his pending case is being looked at. And then 3 is alternative to detention program. So instead of him being detained, there are other alternatives that we can look at. And then the 4 is he can successfully challenge the legality of his detention in a federal court. So he can also say that you cannot detain me because my visa has not expired yet. It expires on the 14th, but not on the 6th of January that he was detained. And he can shorten, he can stay there from 2 weeks to 180 days. 180 days is about 6 months. And if you want to shorten that, he can, say that I'm guilty or send me home. And that will shorten the process so that he'll be brought home. I've seen a couple of other nationals from other African countries and other Caribbean countries who are saying that I want to go home. Because if you are deported, in American law, it will take you 10 years before you can reapply for a visa and come in. But if you go home willingly, you will be allowed to apply again to re-enter. Now, he can also seek asylum, based on political prosecution. That is another path. If he says that Ghanaians or politicians in Ghana are prosecuting him because of his political affiliation or a position he held, he can seek an asylum, and that is a different process. So quickly, let me walk you through the U.S. visa status if you want to adjust your stay of a visa. The first thing is whether you are eligible for it or not. And that means, for Atta's case, he might be having a national, just a visa, 5 years extension, multiple visa, or an alien green card. If you have a green card, you are supposed to come in every 6 months. So if you have a green card, which means that you have an alien status, it means that if you are not working in America, whichever country that you find yourself, by every 6 months, if you are not in the country, you lose that green card or permanent resident status. So every 6 months, you have to be in the system, the jurisdiction. You also have some financial obligations. And I know that Ofori Atta will not find it difficult to pay for processing fee of this altering his stay of a visa. Then you have to apply before your current visa expires. So maybe he has done that, and that is what we are hearing, that he has applied before his current visa ends. And if that is the case, he cannot be detained because he started the process already, and they will listen to whatever thing that he put in there. Then he will file.
Prof, on the issue of whether he can be arrested, there's a message that I made reference to earlier. They make reference to sometimes the visitor visa conditions where it could be said that you can't stay beyond 6 months straight without leaving and re-entering. Will a breach of that not amount to a possibility of an arrest?
So that is one of the possibilities of him being arrested.
Okay.
And I was thinking that his lawyers will come up with the issue because US everything is open. Why they are hiding it, I don't know. So that is a possibility that he stayed longer than. But I also indicated, at the studio before that he has other visas of UK and then Canada that he could have invoked that and then go. Now, that is still there. If he says that I have a visa of UK or Canada and I don't want to go to Ghana, yes, they will take him, they will deport him to Canada or UK. So that is also a possibility for him. What I'm trying to say is that he has many avenues of escape if he wants to. But why would he leave a beautiful country like Ghana, and go through this? And that is the question that I've been asking myself. So now he will file Form I-539 or Form I-129, and that he will submit the relevant form with USCIS pending his visa type. So now we are coming to the types that you talked about, and then there will be documentations. This is where they are going to look at his valid passport, I-94, arrival in America, the departure time, records, and then evidence of a financial support. I've already said that financially he's okay. Then the other part is that he's having either an HIB or H1B or a green card work visa of permanent residency. If that is what he's looking for, and we've been told that somebody has sponsored him for that. If that is the case, then he will need a sponsor who has a W-2, who has filed taxes in America for at least 3 years. And then that sponsor will give employer perm labor certificate. Then he's going to file another form, I-140, and then apply for adjustment of his status, which is Form I-485. So there's a lot of processes that you have to go through. And the timing for that to be approved or rejected depends on the type of visa and the USCIS workload. So that is where Ofori Atta finds himself now. And he is going through a lot. For me, I would say that people should pray for him as an individual, not the position that is held. Because in leadership, we have the formal side and then the informal side. The formal side is what people have seen, his performance. The informal side is the family and the kind of individual Ofori Atta the family knows. And I think that based on he being appointed by his cousin, the former president, to handle a position for him in such difficult times, people should be able to speak for him, at least before he comes and face all the charges, 78 counts of charges of corruption in Ghana.
Interesting. And finally, Prof, there's a point you made that I want you to emphasize. You say that the person who has been picked up can agree that, well, yes, I've overstayed and I want to come back to my country. That's an option, right?
Yes. And that will be easy. They will just hop him into the next flight available. He will not be handcuffed. And then he will come home peacefully.
Right.
And when he does that, then he can reapply again after a couple of times, maybe 2-3 years, to enter into American again. And they will look at the merit of his application. But once you are deported, you have to wait for 10 years before you can reapply to enter into America. And that depends on Ghana embassy there, whether they will accept you or they will not accept you. So the best option for him now is to cooperate with his lawyers and then make sure that he comes to Ghana, because Ghana, we don't eat people. We are going to go through the legal process. Ghana legal process is similar to American legal process. He will be allowed, entitled to have lawyers. He will go, there will be a case sheet, whatever it is, what they call a charge sheet. And then he will go to court, go and come. He will have that kind of family and everybody supporting him than in America, where he's just working alone. So he's a loner here in this situation. And I can tell you that I don't care whether you are sick or whatever situation you are and whatever position you held in Ghana or Africa, they don't care.
What do you make of all we are learning so far in relation to the former finance minister, Ken Ofori Atta?
So let me say good morning to your viewers. Ken Ofori Atta has lawyers in the US, isn't it?
Yes.
Why didn't the US lawyers issue a statement? Because the US lawyers spoke earlier on when he had contacted them. So it's not as if they shy away from speaking to the public. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can be further than the truth. this letter, the contents of it, is a complete hoax. If you are adjusting your status, don't you apply and stay in your house and the processes are rolled out? Is that an offense in itself for you to be arrested? Because they themselves said that it's a normal thing. Something which is normal is not criminal, and you are not arrested. Sometimes these people think that all of us are dumb, and we cannot read in between the lines. The American lawyer will not issue a statement like this because he knows what it means to be faithful to the proceedings. And he knows that if he says anything which is contrary to what is happening, he can lose his license. Those lawyers who are here are not privy to what is happening there. So how come that they are issuing statements? The person who is privy and knows the intricacies of what is happening in there are his lawyers in the US. So I want us to treat this letter with the contempt it deserves.
I mean, you're referring to the public notice issued by Menka Premo, Osebunsu, Bruce Catlin and partners.
I am saying
lawyers for Ken Ofori Atta here in Ghana.
I'm saying that the lawyers in the US are placed properly to have issued this statement. And they would have issued it in such a way that would reflect the facts as happening in the US.
You don't accept these facts?
Never.
That's true.
Never.
What's your
I have told you that.
What's your alternate facts that you
I'll come to it. I'll come to it.
Okay.
I don't come here and say things without giving. You know, I sat here and it was over there, and said that the Chief Justice has gone through some two prominent Ghanaians to have retirement benefits. I said that, and I said it from a reliable source. Here again, I call into this station and say that Martin Pebu, in less than a few minutes, will be removed, and it did happen. So when I'm talking like these things that I'm talking about, I don't just say it. So I'll give you. So the letter should be treated with the contempt it deserves. Now, I can confirm to you that this is part of the processes leading up to his extradition. And this is the handiwork of our Attorney General. You want me to repeat?
No, I'm hearing you. I
Yes.
know you would explain and justify why you hold that view. So
Yes.
I'm listening closely.
And I can tell you that it is the Attorney General who, in his attempts to get Ofori Atta back here, that made the US authorities to revoke his stay status. To revoke. And I want you to underline the word revoke. His license. His visa has not expired. You know that?
Yes, we are told.
Manasseh told us that it will be in February.
Yes, February 14.
So anybody who writes a letter saying that it is part of the overstay extension is a hoax. The man's visa or status has been revoked following the Attorney General's handiwork.
I mean, those who are familiar with these processes, they have told us that there are certain categories of visa holders that you'll be given a period not to stay beyond. It could be 6 months. And they said that at a time. So they said that potentially this is what he has gone beyond, for which reason he had applied for the extension. You don't accept that.
And you are arrested for that. And you are arrested for that. You are arrested. You saw the way he was arrested. In the cold weather, look at the security agents. They were properly clothed. And they didn't even allow him to put on a warm jacket in that cold weather.
I mean, I haven't seen.
I've seen pictures. Just tell me that.
I mean, those are. I understand they are AI generated.
Okay,
images.
so let them be AI. But the point is that you are not arrested for extending your request to stay.
Okay. So let's get something. So your argument is that the AG is seeking to have
is pressing for his return, and that's part of the extradition processes. So it is a first step, if you want, towards the country, getting him back. And I say that it is not true for anybody to say that Ken Ofori Atta is taking steps to regularize his stay there, and that this is a normal process which has led to his arrest. A normal process does not lead to an arrest. Now, why would Ken Ofori Atta be doing this to himself? Now, where lies his reputation? Because as we speak, his colleagues in the MPP who are facing trial are here walking about freely. Wuntumi, who is facing similar grievous charges, is walking about freely here.
And even cases against.
Yeah, but he's walking about. He's walking about. Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you allow yourself to be arrested in this fashion, as if you went to Agbogulusi market and stole a fowl and you have been arrested? Why? So he's putting himself in a situation which has a potential, or which has even led to undermining his own reputation with the arrest that has happened. Because he could have just come and face the music here, and nobody was going to manhandle him. So, in the coming days, and we say that when the frog dies, that we see its full length. In the coming days, more of these legal processes will roll out. And the Attorney General is clear in his mind. He will do his best. And I'm sure that what he's doing now is beginning to yield dividends. But disregard the letter which says that something is normal in the US, but that same thing has led to your arrest. Disregard it.
As lawyers by training, it will be a very big problem if they put out such falsehood as you are suggesting.
Yeah. So I'm saying that as the days roll by, that's why I use the frog analogy. The truth shall prevail.
Okay.
And then we will now see what will happen to this statement.
Okay.
This statement, if it were a statement which we should rely on, would have come from the US lawyers.
Let me bring in Ebo now. And Ebo, there are those who, say that with what is happening, what matters to them is that he ends up in Ghana, whether by deportation, extradition, whatever word. They just want him here in the country. I think for a while now, you seem to belong to that school of thought. You've always maintained that you should come back into the country.
Yeah, it should come. You see, it will be in the interest of Ken Ofori Atta himself to come. And it will be in the interest of his political party to come, and his family. Because, honestly speaking, his refusal to come and face justice and accountability has severely dented the integrity and the image of his party, of his family, and of himself. And so it is important he comes to face the music, as AB put it. You see, the lawyers will talk about the legal aspect of it, and quite frankly, AB's revelation this morning has distorted the equilibrium of my thoughts because the things I was trying to say completely, this new information has changed everything that I plan to say.